Iranian drones just struck the Fujairah petrochemical industry zone in the UAE. So they hit an oil facility in the UAE just about 3.5 hours ago. Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin Zayed, the Bahraini ruling family, the Kuwaiti ruling family, they should be on their hands and knees, kissing the toes of Ghalibaf, of the IRGC Aerospace Force commanders, of Ayatollah Khamenei. They should be on their hands and knees, kissing their toes, thanking them for not having yet targeted any of their stupid OnlyFans palaces yet, or defense HQs yet, or intelligence bureaus yet. And they should be begging them not to target now. It goes without saying that if the UAE decided to invest, the amount of money that they put into their OnlyFans exports or their Labubu industry or their Dubai chocolate manufacturing, if they put any of the amount of money that they put into these sorts of things into instead like air defenses, they would be, I wouldn't say they'd be in a good position right now because they're in the Abraham Accords. They've fully signed the deal with the devil. And even the most modern of air defenses, can they really stop these Iranian Shahed drones, these advanced, Shahed drones and ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles? No, they can't. They could stop more of them, but they can't stop all of them. But it is true, they would be in a better position. But we're not living in that reality. We are living in the reality where we really can only refer to the UAE as the OnlyFans country. That's the only way we can refer to it as. In fact, we have some friends that run some very large, Arab language Telegram channels covering the war, covering regional politics. And I just translate them because they do the best coverage, but it's all in Arabic, right? And a lot of them, they don't even say UAE anymore. This is going out to 500, 600,000 people all across the region. And they don't even say the UAE anymore. They just say the OnlyFans country. That's what the UAE has become to be known as. I mean, these people, they have no honor, no dignity, no backbone, no spine, no nothing, but OnlyFans, Dubai chocolate, Labubu, and greasy sheiks who are funding it all and partaking in it all. And their porta potty parties and all this nonsense, their F1 races. I don't even have a problem with F1. I've never been to an F1 race. I'd love to go to an F1 race, but it's that's just the vibe I get from these people. That's just the vibe I get from these people, Anyways, all of that being said, Iran just struck the UAE. What? I thought we were in peacetime. How is it peacetime when the U.S. is actively blockading the Strait of Hormuz and not allowing any? They've seized, I believe, over 40 Iranian vessels now. Does that sound like peacetime? No, that's an act of war. It's illegal unilateral employment of illegal unilateral sanctions is what it is. I know we've abandoned the principle of even talking about or caring about international law, but if we are going to uphold international law for the Iranians and say, Iran, you must respect international law, you must follow the law. But we're not. I mean, why should we think that the Iranians are going to do anything other than the same? Of course, they're going to do the same. At some point, you're going to press them hard enough. You're going to force them into a position. You're going to corner them. We're okay, we've had enough. We've had 40 vessels seized. We've had enough. Or interdicted, I should say. 40 vessels interdicted. Not all of them seized. Most of them not seized. Right. So that's the point we're at now. And Iran decided to launch strikes on the UAE today. Iranian drones just struck the Fujairah petrochemical industry zone in the UAE. So they hit an oil facility in the UAE just about 3.5 hours ago. This just took place. We have some photos from the sea further out, from the Gulf further out, showing the damage that was done. The photo of the fire in the UAE's Fujairah oil industry zone. And again, the UAE is the country that will literally imprison you. They'll imprison you for years on end if you post these sorts of photos, if you share this sort of content out to the rest of the world. and you show people that, like, oh yeah, they don't have some sort of an impenetrable air defense system or anything like that. They don't have that. No country has that. Israel doesn't have that. No one has that, especially not the UAE. Okay, but we also have some closer images. What's going on here? Footage shows the fire at the Fujairah oil industry zone in the UAE after it was struck by Iranian drone. So this just took place. You could say this is an open invitation to the United States to say, hey, put your money where your mouth is, bitch. You want to talk all this game about how you're gonna eradicate Iranian civilization. You're gonna do something that's never been seen before. We gave you an offer. We gave you a very, very serious offer, and we're done. We've moved on. We're done. If you don't like that, we're ready to go back to war. That's what this message is right here. That's what this is all about. You want to send a warship into the Strait of Hormuz? We'll target it. And we're going to target your closest allies. We're ready to go back to war. We're not playing games. Some people seem confused by this. Let me tell you what confuses me. What confuses me is that a single one of these Arab monarchies has not had the idea yet, has not vocalized the fact that their future, their governance, their grip on power, and nations that are being held captive by these monarchies is in extreme peril because of the simple fact that Iran has the capability to target whatever they want. Yes, they can target a Fujairah oil industry zone. Who cares? Who cares? But if they can target a Fujairah oil industry zone, if they can target all of the U.S. bases and kick the United States military out of the region once and for all, if they can remove any remnants of U.S. troop presence, private contractors, black ops, CIA, Mossad, State Department, whatever it is in the region, what makes them think that they are safe in their stupid little castles? What makes these Arab monarchies, these Gulf monarchies, think that they are safe in their palaces, in their defense headquarters, in their intelligence bureaus? Iran has not targeted these yet. Iran, no, they limited their targets to attacks on military personnel, military assets, U.S. intelligence and Israeli intelligence assets, State Department assets, and U.S. military bases. That's what they were targeting. So you mean to tell me that all of these Gulf monarchies are sitting here saying, like, oh yes, totally, let's go back to war, and not even thinking about the idea that, hey, we could actually get targeted quite easily by a Shahed 139 drone or a hypersonic missile, Khorramshahr 4 missile. That they could very easily, if the U.S. can't protect their own bases that they spend billions of dollars on, how are we safe in these giant palaces that have even less air defense, even less radar systems? And all the radar systems that existed in our country are blown out. All the ANTYP-2 radar systems are gone. They're all gone. The U.S. military gone. Oh boy. Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin Zayed, the Bahraini ruling family, the Kuwaiti ruling family, they should be on their hands and knees, kissing the toes of Ghalibaf, of the IRGC Aerospace Force commanders, of Ayatollah Khamenei. They should be on their hands and knees, kissing their toes, thanking them for not having yet targeted any of their stupid OnlyFans palaces yet, or defense HQs yet, or intelligence bureaus yet. And they should be begging them not to target now. And they should also be strongly vocalizing to the United States to accept the deals that have been put forward by Iran. Say, yes, United States, you may have to make some concessions, but we really can't afford to go back to war. Look at this. The Iranians don't care. They're like, we'll bomb your oil facility. We don't care. The U.S. isn't going to do anything to save you. 3 reported injuries resulted from the recent missile attack on Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates. Landings at Dubai International Airport have been halted and planes are accumulating in the air due to current security situation. The UAE condemns the ongoing Iranian attacks on its country and water spaces and states that they have the full and legitimate right to respond to these attacks. Oh yeah, the UAE, the scary UAE is going to respond to the attacks, just like they warned 100 times that they would respond to the attacks after the initial opening strikes that they never responded to. Now, Israel has gotten involved here. Naftali Bennett, former prime minister temporarily for a few years in Israel, he said, the UAE, our strategic ally, has just been attacked by Iran. This is, in effect, a declaration of the renewal of Iran's war against the allies of the United States and Israel across the region. This regional alliance is vital to our security and to the security of the moderate partners in the Middle East and the Gulf. Iran continues to try to intimidate the region and poses a threat to global security. We stand with our ally, but they're not going to do a damn thing about it. Now, this is my favorite part. This is when we get to see the greasy sheiks crashing out on Twitter because they were about to get a new shipment of Ukrainian OnlyFans models into Dubai, and Iran just ruined that. Iran just ruined that. They're gonna have to be where do they send the flights if they can't land in the UAE? Where do they send them off to? Maybe they sent them to Kuwait. The Kuwaitis get them now. So the Ukrainian OnlyFans girls were about to land in Dubai. The greasy sheiks were they were so excited and they were thinking, wow, I can't wait to spend my Mossad bucks, my Mossad stipend on these Ukrainian OnlyFans girls. And then boom. Airport closed. Done. They're crashing out. Tonight will be a tough night for Iran. Yeah, buddy, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You know, they sent the Ukrainian drone operators home because they were just scamming the Emiratis. They were scamming the Ukrainian drone operators. They're like, oh, we'll solve your problem. And then 5 of them got killed within 24 hours of being in the UAE. And then the others all got sent home because they were incompetent. So where is the UAE supposed to get their air defense systems? They're not going to get them from the Russians, that's for sure. No, they're not going to get them from the Russians. The Russians' strategic allies, Iran. Not going to get them from the Russians. Who are they going to get it from? The United States? No, you forgot that the United States got kicked out. Are they going to get them from China? No, they're not going to get them from China. Are they going to get them? Who are they going to get them from? Turkey? I don't think Turkey cares. I think Turkey's actually very happy if the UAE turns into a parking lot. Because you look at every single proxy conflict that is waging right now in Africa, and not just Northern Africa. I'm talking about all of Africa, especially close to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. You look at all the proxy conflicts in Africa, North Africa, particularly in East Africa. You look at all the proxy conflicts in the Middle East. Almost every single one of them, without fail, you will find Turkey supporting the based entity, and you will find the UAE supporting the retarded Zioslop defenders. Okay, and they're all fighting each other. So Turkey is like one of the biggest military defense contracting countries on the face of the planet. So where is the UAE going to source any of their air defenses? Serious question. Dubai chocolate will not cut it. Okay, so the UAE says they're very upset, blah, 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 blah. Bahrain has now declared a state of national emergency. UAE Defense Committee Chairman Ali Al-Nuaimi informed his Israeli counterpart Boaz Bismuth that the UAE would respond to Iran militarily. We cannot remain silent. Yeah, they can't remain silent. So this is the UAE mindset. They say, my God, our oil facility, our Dubai chocolate factory was hit. We cannot remain silent. But then for how many years of the Gaza genocide did they actually remain entirely silent? They didn't even remain silent. They sent humanitarian goods into Gaza. Filled with, like, I remember they had like tracking information on some of the goods. They had they were filling it like food. They were sneaking like opiates into it and stuff. Like, they were trying to poison these people in the middle of a genocide. They were sending them expired food. That's what the greasy, Mossad stipend sheiks of the UAE were doing. So anyways, the UAE is freaking out. The IRGC will be ended once and forgotten soon. These are the best. UAE is safe. They're about to roll Andrew Tate back in to do some Dubai propaganda. It's safe. They're about to bring Mohammed bin Zayed's virtual reality, his virtual reality image into the malls of Dubai to walk him through the malls of Dubai to show everyone it's safe again. This will not pass. The UAE will make the Islamic regime in Iran pay. Bro, you live in the weakest, gayest country besides Israel and Ukraine on the face of the earth. I don't know what to tell you. Even Israel and Ukraine are stronger than the UAE. Like, not only are you a stupid country, you're also very weak. You don't have a nuclear bomb. Israel has a nuclear bomb. Ukraine can like make drones and some semblance of air defense systems, small, these drone interceptors at least. The UAE can't make anything besides OnlyFans imports. Your country is the biggest joke on the face of the earth. I will never, ever, ever in my entire life set foot in that country so long as it remains under the control of Mohammed bin Zayed and his ruling family. Literally one of the worst countries on the face of the earth. One of the worst, one of the biggest jokes of countries on the face of the earth. Anyone who defends that country, I can't even say you're spineless. Spineless would be too generous of a word. You're just stupid. Okay, anyway, so they're freaking out. That's pretty much it about the UAE thing. Oh, there was another missile alert in Abu Dhabi about 30 minutes before we started the stream. So there was 3 different missile alerts in the evening hours today. And then Trump tweeted this out Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So he's given Iran this like warning saying like, oh, this time we're serious. This time we're going to restart the war. If in fact you decide not to agree and capitulate to all of our demands by 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, buddy. Let's see what he said here.
Well, I wouldn't have to. I didn't say that. I said that if we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years. They told me about the concept of the deal. They're going to give me the exact wording now. Yeah.
Last night you also said that only like 85% of Iran's missile-making capabilities has been eliminated.
Correct.
Is that ever important for the United States?
Well, I'd like to eliminate it. Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be a start for them to build up again. And yeah, I would like to eliminate it. Sure.
He'd like to eliminate them. He'd like everyone to forget about Epstein. He'd like everyone to stop talking about the Gaza genocide and the genocide of the south of Lebanon. Trump would like his approval ratings to go up. Trump would like to, save the midterms for the GOP. But the world doesn't really care what Trump thinks anymore. The world does not care. At the start of this whole thing, Pete Hegseth and Trump, they went out and they acting like they're from Apocalypse Now. They gave these grand speeches about how, this is a matter of force and strength, and we're gonna diplomacy by strength. You're saying all these stupid little catchphrases, and now they find themselves on the opposing end of what true strength and true honor looks like. What it looks like to put death before dishonor. The United States, my God, these people. This is my country. I grew up next to Camp Pendleton. I know these people. These are people suffering at the hands of capitalism, of finance capital. They have no future. They have no life. Their entire families are addicted to opiates. They have no money. They have no nothing, no hope. And they join the U.S. military. In many cases, not all. And I'm not saying that absolves them of nothing. That doesn't absolve them of nothing. But it does tell you exactly what they're fighting for. Do you think Iranians are fighting because their entire family is addicted to opiates and because they can't keep a roof over their head for their family, and because if they don't join the military, they're going to be one of the 800,000 other members of their country who are living on the streets, homeless? And they can't afford medical, they can't afford a home, they can't afford any sort of insurance, they can't afford anything. You think that's why Iranians are fighting? Honestly, tell me. Because that's why the U.S. is fighting. That's why these U.S. soldiers are putting up with the fact that they're eating like gray gloop and glob on the USS Abraham Lincoln as they're trying to dodge ballistic missiles, you know, in the middle of the Persian Gulf. That's why they're fighting. They're not fighting for any sort of honor. They're not fighting for any sort of noble cause. Hell, most of them are sending messages to these American NGOs led by veterans for conscientious objection, saying, we don't want to fight. We don't want to fight for a military that murders 200 schoolgirls in the opening salvo of this war. We don't want to fight for the Dubai chocolate empire and the Labubus and the OnlyFans empire of Ukraine and Dubai. We don't want to fight for that. That's the difference here. So, yes, the United States has found themselves on the opposing end of what true strength looks like. And that's why they're acting like rats trapped in a corner, because that's exactly what they are. They're greedy, cocky rats that got trapped in their own corner of their own making, and now they don't know what to do. They're scrambling and they don't know what to do. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.